call to order. Let's do roll call.
The time is 6:39, and the date is April 9th, 2012. Gary Ciccarone,
Here.
Rick Barrett, Steve Michalski,
He's ill.
Ed Nason,
Here.
Jim Freeman,
Here.
Rob Collins,
Here.
Clifton Camp, Ed Comeau,
Here.
we're missing two people from the regular members of the planning board, plus the ex officio.
Should you confirm a quorum?
Yes, we do have four regular members. Let's see. And plus we do have an alternate too, so that's more than.
And you're in for Rick, right? Okay.
It's up to you. You appoint him. You're the new
Well, he
chair.
gets
I know
it.
it's only been a week, but
He gets
you're
the
new
option
chair.
of being Rick or Steve. You get the, you know.
Yeah, Steve's cuter.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my agenda here.
I can't help it. I can't. Sometimes.
Okay, everybody's got your paperwork, agenda, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
All right. We have roll call. I have no mail. There's nothing in the box, so there's nothing important to give you there. Announcements, there are no announcements that I can think of. If anybody else have anything here that's pertinent to our business?
The Rick Zacher.
Pardon me?
The Rick Zacher, right?
Okay, that is an announcement. I'm sorry. How foolish. Rick Zacher resigned from the planning board as an alternate with this letter. Dear Gary, please accept my resignation as selectman alternate ex officio to the Brookfield Planning Board. My recent election to the position of selectman in the town requires that I not serve on these two boards simultaneously. Sincerely, Rick Zacher, Brookfield Board of Selectmen. So, for the record, we no longer have.
An ex officio alternate.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's fine that he resigned, but
Well, it's.
I don't think that,
It's courtesy.
no, but I don't think he needed to, because he,
No, he didn't need to, but it's a courtesy, and it's a very polite courtesy for him. to do
Well,
so.
actually, he did need to, because he was a member, and he can't be a member of this board and a selectman at the same
he
time.
was the selectman's
the
alternate. He was the selectman's alternate. He was the alternate for the ex officio,
Sorry.
The
right?
ex officio has voting
Which he can
rights,
still
and
be
as his
because
alternate,
Cliff's a
he can't
selectman.
be.
Right.
But he is
Yeah.
he's not actually.
Well, that's for another night, and we'll see if he wants to be the alternate, as long as it's a legal point.
He cannot be, if he's a sitting member of the Board of Selectmen, he cannot be an alternate to the ex officio. He
Yeah,
cannot.
the ex officio alternate has to be somebody,
Outside of the board.
Outside the board.
Well, Ernie sat in as Cliff's alternate before.
Yes, he has. Maybe we were breaking the law. Let's not say it too loudly. There's a member of the court in the room. Anyway, George, let me give this back to you, okay? I guess we could classify this as an announcement because it's not,
I'm sorry, Gary, before we go on, so we need to ask the selectmen to appoint an
new
alternate.
one.
yes, we do. First, I'm gonna find out the legal point on Rick Zacher.
Well, I think
No,
he's resigned, so I don't think we have a choice.
Well, he resigned because apparently he believes that he's not able to do the job.
No. He was voted in as a selectman, so therefore he cannot be an ex officio for a board that's not appointed by the selectman.
Okay, well, we'll
So he
get
can't
into
be
that.
an
We're going to have to
alternate,
replace,
therefore.
we're going to have to replace the alternate,
Absolutely.
one way or the other. We have two letters here. I'm going to pass it around. One of them is to Tom Welton, and the other's to Booney Coleman for their resignation. We all should sign this. And I suppose we'll wait till the next meeting to get Booney's and Steve's signature on this, because I think that it would be nice if everybody on the board got a chance to sign it.
It'd be nice to write a letter of thank you. Yes.
That's what this is.
Oh, that is. Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're gonna all sign this, so I'll just pass around to everybody here now. If you'd put your John Hancock down on the bottom of there, and everybody do that.
See, I knew the red pen would come in handy.
Did you sign it in red, Ed?
Yeah, special ed.
Great. Kind of green and under. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's here. Jim, here you go. George, I would, I'd sign it if I were you as well.
Thank you. It was a privilege.
You didn't have any of the classy stationery for this one? Parchment-like? I had a couple of them.
Oh, easy. We're on a tight budget.
I think you hang on to these two before we send them out. We'll let Steve and Rick have a shot at it too. All right.
Well, it's an official correspondence.
I'll sign it last.
It's an official correspondence. We have to leave it open.
Okay, that's done. Public comments, opportunities for comments from the public. We have that opportunity. Are you here for public comment?
I am not.
Well, then I guess that's moot. We are having no public comments this evening. Review and possible approval of minutes for March 26, 2012 Planning Board. Let's get to it.
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as
Second.
presented.
You say,
Mr. Chairman, I believe that it has a comment.
Oh, the correction, right, it's a correction.
Oh.
Charlotte Coleman was not present at the last meeting.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Boy. We look bad.
Picky.
Where does it say? Oh, alternates president, come on, Charlotte Coleman.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
I
fact.
think you're right.
Scratch that.
Scratch the motion.
I guess I can make a motion to accept the minutes as we've just corrected them.
Second.
Oh, I think we've already got a motion on the,
We have.
Well,
He
I was
retracted.
He
He
retracted.
you retracted?
Yeah.
I ignored that part, sorry.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So be it. Okay. Old business, conditional use application, consideration and possible vote for approval. We've all got one, right? Everybody got one? Let me keep this right in here. I think we should all take a few minutes and just read the thing over again so we get it.
So for the record, George, when did you, I believe you distributed this to us electronically.
Yes.
For the record, do you remember when that was?
No, it was before the March 26th meeting. This was to be presented at the last meeting.
Right, just making the point that we've had enough notice that we can,
Oh, yeah.
that we can address this.
This has been a working document for a long time. Like I mentioned, Tom Wellston did put tons of work into this document. And we have had a public hearing, if I'm not mistaken, on this. And we've gone over it very thoroughly. I think this is a fine and very workable document for this town.
The bathroom needs better insulation. I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to call everybody's attention to at the last meeting this was discussed, the changes were made accordingly on page 6 of 7. Number 2, last sentence of number 2, it says, other required notices as underlined, and the underlined part of D1 and 2 for RSA 676.4. Previously, the subheadings for 674 were written differently. Other than that, this is the same document as...
Didn't we already have discussion? These are just the changes that we had a discussion on.
Not only were these changes discussed, but they were actually, I believe there was a motion on that, but I'll have to...
And these were the agreed upon changes.
That's correct. I can verify that from previous minutes if you want.
One thing I might want to mention is that I think Rob was not appointed to the board on these last changes. I would like to hear his comments on them if he, agrees or
he was-
disagrees. I would love to
he
hear
was
his
here.
comments on them. He was here, but he was not appointed to the board at that time, if I'm not
He's
mistaken.
plenty vocal.
Yeah, he
Oh, you
commented.
I want to hear, well, you're a member of the board now, I want to hear if you have any comments about it.
At the time, I made all the comments I had at the time. I don't hold back.
perfectly fine, but it seems strange. Number 6.
Yeah,
Please
that's
print
right.
clearly or complete the application with a what? A typewriter?
I don't know
What's
what
a
a typewriter
typewriter? This to make them?
Yeah, it should be something like Word Perfect, huh?
I don't think that exists anymore either.
No, it doesn't, that's out of there too. It's all Word now, right?
May I suggest printer?
Well, you don't have to,
I
I was just finding it, it just jumped right out at me when I read it.
think it's fine, I think it's fine as is. It's just,
Oh, it is, yeah, like I
it's kind of
said,
cute and, you know,
yeah,
Nostalgic sort of way.
kind of historical, like this town.
yeah, somewhere, so I bet there's still a fair number of people here in town that have working typewriters. Case in point.
I have an old brother, electric typewriter, and a Remington manual typewriter, where the things go, I mean, it's, needs some oil or something.
And I believe some of the last comments we had when we were looking this over were, you know, if we find that we do need to make changes, it's perfectly acceptable to change it next year or the year after.
Or add to it at any time.
That's right.
It's a board working document, so we can change it as we will after the applications that are on record.
Well, I think enough has been done with this that we can vote on it as it stands.
I would vote to accept the proposed application for a conditional use permit as it stands.
Are you making a motion?
I am making a motion.
Because you said I am voting.
I'm sorry, I am moving.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion about this? We beat it to
I
death
think we
already.
discussed it quite
Yep.
thoroughly.
What, anybody got any?
Let me buy his vote.
Well,
Oh, you already?
I'm
so
stacking them up.
let's vote on whether to accept this. Everybody in favor of accepting this as a conditional use permit for the town of Brookfield as prepared by the planning board?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Does anybody vote nay? In that case, this document is no longer a working document, but it is the
Abstentions?
application for conditional use permit.
Gary?
Yes.
Always ask for abstentions.
Are there any abstentions? Everybody said aye. Any abstentions? Steve and Cliff? Okay. So this is now our document. Officially, George. That's 6:58. Okay, that's that. Now we have permit clarification. This is something I've been after for a while. I have all these permits. George kindly pulled them out for me. It's something that we're not gonna work on tonight to any great length, but we're gonna look them over briefly. Everybody was here for that site plan review that Moose Mountain went through, and it got sticky.
I was not.
Ed was not.
Ed wasn't here. Oh, that's right. Moose Mountain LLC, what came before is a site plan review. And our site plan review application and the process encompassed everything you could be applying for site plan review in the town. And some things were redundant, other things were inappropriate for the particular use he was applying for. So consequently, for instance, subdivision in the rec zone should have similar but different applications because there are different parameters that are going to have to be set as standards for the. So anyway, we need to work on that because as a board, we didn't look really great. I chaired that for my first expedition into town government.
There were a lot of confusions.
Yeah, it was tough. We had lawyers sitting all over the place. And
So
it was
you had to force the application to fit the, and it just wasn't working.
Well, it
It
wasn't
go
that.
smoothly. We can make it more smooth.
Yeah, one of the selectmen was suing the town for the fact that we had not done a site plan review process, which the board had waived several months prior under not Ed's tenure, but Janet Murphy's tenure, who was the previous. It just was a mess.
For Ed's viewpoint, the fact that somebody was suing the town for any motion is irrelevant. It's the fact that the application itself is convoluted and caused confusion.
Thank you for your
in
comments
its-
there,
In its
Jim.
application.
Anyway, it's a mess. It needs to be fixed. And we're gonna do that, and there's a bunch of things here that we have to look at. Only briefly with a couple, oh my God, finger job here, okay. The driveway permit, Ed, you don't see any problem with that, I can imagine. It's pretty cut and dry. But it does fall under planning board purview. Do you see anything with this, being a road agent?
It's not imprinted in my head. I haven't done one in a long time, so I don't know. I'll look it over. You got it right there in front of you?
Yep, take a look at it,
Sure,
see what you think.
I'd love
And then if you come up with any goodies as the road agent,
May I suggest to the chair that where we had problems previously with the rules and procedures, we did form a committee to try to clarify those. It went into great debate, but I think we came out with a very good, solid application for it. It's something that we may want to consider.
forming a committee?
Forming a committee.
No, we're not gonna do that.
To go over the
Jim,
listing.
thank you for the suggestion. This is how it's gonna go. We don't have a lot on our agenda here. We're not stacked up with work, we're not getting sued, we don't have a lot of stuff going on.
Exactly.
This board can certainly go through a few of these things and collectively review the things that need to be reviewed as a board without sending it to committee. We had 3 or 4 committees running at the time to resolve a whole lot of issues. The planning board was inundated with work. We're no longer in that situation. I don't think we need to run the committee. We have to have something to do besides sit here and make jokes at each other. And there are other things that have to be done in the
You're
town,
such
but
an easy target.
this is a priority.
Absolutely.
Because it didn't work well during that site plan review process. And we need to, I wanted to do it the week after that. And Bill Gaber did too, and he was 100% right about that.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't a good show.
It does need to be tweaked a little bit, and I will do that.
Work on it and send it, give it back to us, and we'll all look at it.
Sure.
We'll defer to your experience as road agent, because you're familiar with all those things. I'm sure you can substantiate your tweaks. We'll look at it after you play with it for a while. Ed, you are now a committee of 1 on a driveway permit. Done.
There is a committee of one in about 6 or 7 different fields.
So I guess that application's not.
We have other ones here,
Not in here.
I don't believe so.
but I think our this is our fee schedule there. Yeah, here's a subdivision plat requirement checklist. These are the things I'd like to review as a board and improve. The site plan review checklist versus the subdivision plat required checklist. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this. I have no idea how Bob Bordeaux's doing up there, and it matters not to the town what the guy's doing up there business-wise in terms of success or failure. But if he decides to ever sell the place, and he could do that tomorrow, the economy's unpredictable, and somebody else comes in there, they're gonna be right here for a site plan review in front of this board, and we need to just have it tuned a little better than we had it last time, and that's our mission.
I think we went through it very thoroughly to protect the future interests of the town as far as what we allowed for that site plan, and that any other further usage has to be brought before the board, even to the point where Bob did not apply for snowboards and skiing. Therefore, anybody that want to use that in the future will have to bring it before the board for any changes in the site plan.
My point is that if it's a different person than Bob and it's not a conditional use permit, they may just open up the site plan review process all over again. They wouldn't fall under Bob's site plan review unless it was, they bought the entity and operated it as that entity, probably. I don't even know the legal points of that.
Exactly, and we approved what the usage that was
But
applied for.
this needs work, and we can do it pretty easily. I don't think it's a big deal, but, so I think everybody should get a copy of these, take them home and look at them. I'm not saying, and we can work on it right at the meeting, but I haven't looked at it. I've been very busy the past
And
couple
that's
of
what we
weeks.
should do. I agree with you, we should all have a copy, look them over, see what we think about them, and then come
And
back.
then have a discussion.
Yep,
This
Yeah,
is,
good idea, so it'll be overlooked.
I'm sorry, this is what's in the rules of procedure, right? This is,
Yes,
right, so we already should have that.
you already have that, yes.
And just to confirm that I'm not out of date, mine is dated, it says revised 5/11/09.
Okay, that's another thing. George, are we all updated?
Okay.
Our books.
Okay. I can't guarantee that. I would suggest that all books be turned into me so that I can review that. And I just did one of Mason's books and took care of that. And I would suggest that all of us verify that. That's a very important point.
Weren't
We will find,
we in the middle of that, the end of last year, we hadn't completed it? As far as
Procedure?
the individual book updates.
well, we did it at the beginning of the year.
yeah.
I thought we.
It's kind of a
I thought we-
informal,
I
it's
thought
an
we got in the
informal
middle of
routine.
that. I thought we got in the middle of that with a couple of other issues at the end of last year.
Well, no matter how you look at it, there may be pages missing or odds and ends.
I would like to point out though, just to avoid confusion, that if you look at the beginning of your rules of procedure, there's a different date than what's in the official application form. There's a different
Right,
date.
yeah, I'm looking at the footer on
Yep,
Appendix B,
yep,
and mine says 5/11/09.
instead of 5/10/04.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Just, we should make sure that we've got,
The same, everything.
just to make sure that everyone is reviewing
The same
what is
thing.
current. Now, I don't think that this stuff has changed in years, right?
No,
No.
not the application form.
Right, so probably okay on that. So, can I suggest that maybe we want to start by looking, or my initial thought would be start by looking at the checklist?
Well, that's
Because
what,
that was, if I recall, that was
That's
pretty
the
darn,
problem.
that was pretty darn comprehensive, right? And there were things on there that, there was a general consensus that they were irrelevant to a site plan review in general. And maybe we can start,
To certain site plan reviews.
well, if it's relevant to any site plan review, then we only have one site plan review checklist, then we have to have it on there, right?
well, that was my suggestion. These are the two checklists. And I know we have them in our book, but it would be nice if George, the paper's cheap, made enough copies of both of these checklists to hand it. It's a lot easier to do it without the book.
Yes.
Thumbing it through
Agreed.
page after page after page. So if we all can get a copy of these two to take with us,
Want me to do that right now?
if you would, George, I'd greatly appreciate that. I think it's important that we take these things, review them, and get it fine-tuned, because we are going to go through it again someday. It may not be this board, but some board is going to go through it again.
But we did, as far as Rob's point there, as far as the application of the site plan review to the established recreation district versus subdivision in residential area, and how they conflict and would be arbitrary in the decision of the board for the separate application.
Well, we have I find two checklists here. One is subdivision plat requirement checklist, and the other is site plan review checklist.
He's making up
And
copies.
so if there's,
The plat checklist is actually a subsidiary of the site plan review, if I'm not mistaken. There is